Snap, looking, scanning, flush to his right, throws it back in the end zone, and a heck of a defensive shot by Trevor Woods to jar the ball loose before he actually had possession. That's a play right there that's not going to be talked a lot about after this ball game, but it was key in the Buffs' victory. A phenomenal defensive effort there in overtime by Trevor Woods, knocking that what looked to be a touchdown away from Sterling, their receiver for Cal. Back in the Stampede, Buffs win in overtime, 20-13. Solid reporter Andy Lindahl. You were down there for that. The wide receiver was very nonchalant. He thought he was wide open, going to catch that ball. And that is, I think, the epitome of not giving up on a play by Trevor Woods.
Oh, it was phenomenal reaction time because Woods didn't have but half a second to react to it, or he would have clutched the ball, and that would have been the end of the play. We know how things are in the end zone. So phenomenal play by Woods. Phenomenal play by the defense really all day long, Mark.
Yeah, really amazing. The energy with which that unit played. I want to talk to you about that. Up in the booth, we don't get the sense of that. Gary and I are way up there. We don't sense. You're down here the whole ball game. It was a totally different feel because game in and game out, he's talking to me all season long. No energy down here. No energy. Not the case today.
No, it was completely different. You'd have thought they were trying to become 6-0. Not just get their first win on the season. The student section was outstanding. They were jumping up and down, making noise the entire time, singing the songs, and it just fed to the rest of the crowd. And really, it's just a testament. This was a beautiful day. The colors are turning. It's Boulder, Colorado. People like to do things outside here. There's a bunch of stuff you could have done other than coming and looking at a college football team trying to get their first win. Instead, they were all here. You got to be so proud of this fan base. Frankly, look, the Broncos would take this kind of support.
Yeah.
Broncos weren't getting that kind of support in their last national TV game. Good on this Buffs fan base and the student body.
Yeah, it really says something about the Buff faithful out there coming out and turning out the way they did here today. Mike Sanford, his emotion on the sideline. We talk about you gauging the team and kind of the atmosphere. Mike is a ball of energy down there. He really is infectious, isn't he?
He is. He's still got a great vertical jump. I think he plays a mean game of hoops, but he was out there. He was congratulating everybody. And you know what, Mark? You and I have seen this before. He took on the biggest challenge. He wasn't just the offensive guy. He was loving up the whole team, and it was great to see.
The Buffaloes get the win. They had a change of quarterback in this one. Owen McCown started and had, mixed results, if you will. And then they brought in J.T. Shrout, and he was part of the great comeback for the Buffaloes to end up winning this ball game. And we heard from the quarterback for the Buffs after the contest.
Yeah, a lot of emotion in the locker room today. It was a big win for us, something we really needed. So really proud of the way our defense played and really proud of the way Owen McCown started the game and hung tough in there, and our O-line played great. So just so proud of my teammates, and it was a huge team win. Yeah, it's been one of the harder seasons I've ever had in college football. I've been around the game for a little bit, and I'm just proud of the resilience that we've showed and the fight that this locker room and this team has. And it starts with our coaching staff and our head coach, Coach Sanford. We're rallying behind him, and he's rallying behind us. So we're gonna stick this thing out together for the next few weeks, and we're gonna give it our all. I'm so thankful for this amazing fan base we have. They want to win so badly, and I'm so glad we were able to provide that for them today. They've been showing up ever since I showed up in Boulder. They're selling out home field games, and they're here rooting us on. And I can't thank our crowd and our fans more enough. So go Buffs, and thank you, Buff Nation.
That was J.T. Shrout after the Buffaloes get the victory, 20-13 in overtime. We continue with sideline reporter Andy Lindahl. On the offensive side, it wasn't picture perfect today. They had their mistakes out there. But there was a persistence, there was an energy, and kind of that old Jeff Bosdelic line I like to throw out there, willing to want to. They just kind of fought through the issues they had.
Yeah, but you know what? They, for the most part, not all the time, but for the most part, they were on schedule. Coach Sanford did a great job of, we're just going to run the ball. He took some shots with the passing game early on. When it wasn't consistent, he ran the football. When he got 5 yards, he ran it again, and at least set up a 3rd and 2. Made the defense of Cal play on their heels. There hasn't been a defense the Buffs have faced this year that have had to be on their heels the way that Cal has. Hankerson showed a little bit of that nasty that we've heard about when he runs. I'm telling you, he buckled a couple defenders' knees when he went low and they tried to do the old Oklahoma drill inside the pile. But I liked, other than some penalties, I thought they were on schedule in the second half well today.
The thing we like about Anthony Hankerson, he's not the biggest guy. He's 5'9", weighs about 190 pounds, but he's got that lean. He always falls forward, so despite his size, he's a physical runner out there. As we said to Gary a moment ago, this is a step in the right direction. They've got to continue to build upon this now as we go into another week of Mike Sanford company.
Yeah, but you get to feel good about yourself for a week, and all the work pays off. And even when these teams aren't good, if people saw the week these kids put in, the work that goes into getting ready for a football game, the travel, still trying to do school, all that kind of stuff, they deserve to get a reward. They got one today. Again, if I if I wasn't doing sideline interviews, I'd have had the phone out again and tried to get some pictures. Sami with tears in his eyes. I had to make sure. I was like, are you sure you're good to talk? And of course he was fired up, but dude, it choked me up, and Lang was so fiery. It just is, it's so good to see these kids taste some success. Like you said, next week's a new week. We'll see what it brings. But today's a feel-good day.
Gary always talks about players on a roster. When you're in a tough situation like we've gone through this year, he always says, never question the player's desire to win, even when it's going bad and maybe they're playing well. And I think that's what Andy's talking about. We saw that here today as there was a lot of emotion. These guys finally got a breakthrough, and it was great to see them. Even though you're 1-5, the students rushing the field was really kind of cool under the circumstances. Normally not a big fan, but they were outstanding tonight. Great crowd, great win for the Buffaloes. He's Andy Lindahl, our sideline reporter. Coming up next year in the Stampede, we're going to talk about a big weekend for the volleyball program over the Washington schools. Back in a moment.